Greetings, my name is Brennan Koo, and today we're going to be having a look at the effects of globalization at one of the Southeast Asian countries, in particular, Indonesia. 15 years after General Suharto's regime was over, Indonesians are still living with the reality of debt that was left behind after his tyrannical rule. They owe a huge debt to the IMF, and over 70 million Indonesians are living below the poverty line. One of the other effects that we have seen in Indonesia from Suharto's regime was that the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. Now today in our video presentation, we're going to be looking at the effects of globalization in the country. We're also going to be looking at the international tourism bodies which are involved in the policy making for the country. And also we're going to be looking at the positive and negative implications of globalization on the country. We hope you enjoy our video presentation.
This is Jakarta in 1960s, the capital city of Indonesia. It continues to grow, and this brief video allows you a brief glimpse into how the city looked in the later part of the last century. Most of the footage was in Old Kota, which is in this era was still the commercial center of the city. In general, Indonesia is an archipelago country, located in Southeast Asia with a population of 245 million, is the fourth most populous country in the world. With a large population and rich natural resources, it is economically very profitable for investments and business in the economic field. Indonesia is a country that just 15 years rose from the economic slump caused by the economic crisis experienced by many Asian countries in 1997. This is Jakarta in 2012, nowadays serving as country's economic, cultural and political center of Indonesia. Globalization has brought implications, positive and negative impacts to the country. In the economic sector, globalization has given the government a strong justification for undertaking market-oriented reforms that can help maintain high and sustainable rates of exports necessary for strong economic growth. In order to remain competitive in a globalized market, Indonesia has implemented a gradual policy of liberalization, showed a real will to meet the requirements of different global organizations and regional ones such as WTO and ASEAN. The liberalization of trade of goods and services with other countries gives advantage to Indonesia to take market share of international trade. However, inflows of foreign trade cause the national trade deficit and more international companies conquer Indonesia's economy. Indonesia still has to deal with the disparities resulting from globalization, the increasing asymmetries of income and access to economic opportunities between different groups in the society, as well as between different regions, sectors, and companies. Apart from that, it also resulted in the rise of smuggling goods into Indonesia. In cultural sectors, globalization has improved learning about the social cultural values, way of life, the good mindset, as well as science and technology from other nations that have been developed. It will also increase the high work ethics and discipline. However, the Western values entered Indonesia through the internet, television, and pre-media are widely imitated by the community. It will also result in the erosion of the spirit of mutual help, solidarity, and care. Globalization has also impacted the tourism industry in Indonesia. It creates job opportunities for the locals, giving more employment in the country. It also gets the country recognized globally, brings in more tourists into the country, and growing demand for tourism. Apart from that, it also brings in more investment into the country, such as large multinational corporations invest in the properties in the nation. However, country's indigenous population start to suffer as demand increases for tourism, so will the demand for country's national resources. Hence, the indigenous population may not get their share for the basic resources they need. Furthermore, national resources are highly exploited and funneled into tourism for the use of foreigners, whilst also being used by locals as the rate of usage increases. There are two main tourism bodies who are responsible in policy development. The Ministry of Culture and Tourism, or MCT, is a national governmental organization responsible for culture and tourism policy, strategy, development, marketing, and promotion. World Tourism Organization (UNWTO) helps to coordinate the destination management, giving the education and training assist members to assess and mitigate risks related to tourism and help in developing policies. Policy development in Indonesia consists of two main policies, which are visa policy, which has three categories: pay for visa on arrival or VOA, visa-free facilities, and visa overseas. There are also value-added tax refund policy that allow tourists can get value-added tax rebate when shopping.
Now in our video, you not only saw the impacts of globalization on Indonesia, but in general I think we've also learned more about what happens when large corporations intervene in a country's economy. Now this has been going on for quite some time, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. However, things have been changing slowly, with masses knowing more and more about large corporations' interventions in this matter. So, it's up to you right now, as the consumer, as a citizen of the world, to make a difference. To make sure that there won't be any more sweatshops, that there won't be any more child labor, that there will not be any more ill effects of globalization. Thank you very much for watching our video presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. And of course, we'll be looking at the international tourism bodies responsible for the and also